Before toilets, before sewers, before flushing anything, someone had to deal with human waste. And in cities from London to Beijing, they did. Meet the night soil men, the underpaid, underwashed, and utterly essential workers who carried your poop away by hand. This is gross history, and here are 5 disgusting truths about the men who lived in your waste. Fact 1. The job was literally to carry poop. From the Middle Ages through the 19th century, most urban homes didn't have plumbing. Waste collected in chamber pots or privy pits, and those filled fast. Enter the night soil man. His job, emptying those pits by bucket, by shovel, sometimes by crawling inside. They worked at night when the stink would attract fewer complaints and the streets were clearer. One 1840s report from Manchester, England, described them as smeared in filth and yet not ashamed, for without them the city would drown in its own excrement. They'd load the waste into barrels or carts and carry it away, sometimes dumping it in the river, but often reselling it to farms as fertilizer. Yes, the waste was recycled. No, they were not well paid for it. Fact 2. The risk of death was real. Night soil men often worked in deep cesspits, some as much as 15 feet down. The air was toxic. Methane, ammonia, and hydrogen sulfide built up in deadly concentrations. One wrong step, or one spark, and the pit could become a poison gas trap or a fireball. Contemporary newspapers report incidents where workers simply passed out and died mid-job, their co-workers forced to either rescue them or pull up their bodies. According to a 19th century London Board of Health report, a man lost consciousness after entering the pit. Within minutes, 2 others followed, and all 3 perished before a rope could be lowered. The public called it death by foul air. Fact 3. The tools were primitive. The equipment was simple: a long-handled scoop or shovel, wooden buckets or iron pots, a rope and pulley, and most importantly, a strong stomach. They wore no gloves, no masks, and protective clothing was a myth. Most wore old clothes soaked in oil or pitch to try to repel the worst of the waste, but nothing helped much. A worker might go home reeking for days, no matter how many times he washed. One account described their smell as soaked into the skin like a second layer of filth. Even their tools were reused, rarely cleaned between jobs. Fact 4. The job was hated, but absolutely necessary. Cities couldn't function without them. But no one wanted to see them, speak to them, or live near them. Night soil men were socially shunned. Their children were kept out of schools, their wives excluded from markets, and they were barred from public baths. In many cities, they were restricted to specific streets for living and working, some with separate entrances into homes, so no one had to witness the filth directly. And yet, during cholera outbreaks, cities often depended on them to empty out overflowing cesspools to slow the spread of disease. In 1832, a British health inspector wrote, "They are ghosts of the night, dragging our waste away while we sleep, and with it much of our sickness." Fact 5. They were replaced by sewers. Eventually, by the late 19th century, the rise of modern sanitation, sewer networks, running water, and flush toilets made night soil men increasingly obsolete. In cities like Paris, London, and New York, vast underground systems of pipes carried waste away from homes, powered by gravity and steam pumps. But in many places, including parts of Asia and rural Europe, night soil collection continued well into the 20th century. In Japan, the practice remained common in some areas until the 1970s, with waste repurposed as fertilizer. And even today, in some fast-growing urban areas around the world, manual waste collection, by another name, still exists. They were anonymous, despised, often invisible, but for centuries, night soil men kept cities alive by carrying away what everyone else left behind. So, the next time you flush a toilet, remember, it wasn't always this easy, and someone used to carry it out, bucket by bucket, in the dark. This has been Gross History. Stay curious, but most of all, stay gross.